Patriots post-game show of the entire season. Pretty weird feeling. Evan Lazar is in Foxborough. It's going to be the last time this year. And again, Evan, it's really odd here. No Patriots playoffs. I saw an interesting thing on Twitter. Mike Giardi, who covers the Patriots for the NFL Network, they're not even here. The NFL Network punted on this game. They didn't send a reporter. This is how insignificant this game and this moment in Patriots kind of in their season and in their existence has become irrelevant. It's an also-ran nothing throwaway game against the Jets that means nothing for anybody, and it's just a strange position to be in.
It's a very strange position to be in. It was strange to wake up this morning and realize that it's week 17. The season is over for the Patriots. That I just think kind of snuck up on all of us. But in terms of what this game means, it means absolutely nothing. But there is some, moment here that I think we're going to get where this is going to be Cam Newton's last start with the Patriots, more than likely, and his last appearance as a New England Patriot, as Adam Schefter reported this morning that both Cam and the Patriots are probably going to move on at the end of the year. It just didn't work out really for either side. As much as they liked working with each other, the on-field product did not net what you'd want in terms of him returning for 2021. So this is the end of a very short and very disappointing era, I would say, of Patriots football here, with Cam Newton making his last start.
Well, let's get to that report then. Okay, so for those who don't know, Adam Schefter reports this morning, and it appears to be a lot of people seem to be following up on this, and it's very much what we kind of expected might happen based off what we saw. They're expected to part ways mutually. This didn't work. And we've talked about it. We've seen it. We've known it for everything that Cam Newton did here in Foxborough, being a good soldier, working hard, saying all the right things, being a stand-up guy in the media, being accountable, taking responsibility for the team's failings, even though it didn't entirely fall on his shoulders. This was a bad fit. It never worked. For the first time all season last game, we heard Cam Newton expressing his frustration, which I think was a real kind of tip-off, telltale sign here, which is I'm killing myself for this situation and it's not working out. So I guess the only thing to ask in this thing is, you get the vibe Cam Newton maybe felt that his talents weren't being used to their fullest, in addition to, the Patriots not getting what they wanted out of him. We talked about all year this round peg into square hole situation where they tried to shoehorn him into what it is they do while not fully taking advantage of what it is that he does.
I just don't know if what he does is at a high level enough anymore, period, for anyone, because I think the biggest thing that you see with Cam is that 5 years ago, Cam Newton had some of the best arm talent in the NFL. He could just flick the wrist and throw the ball 60 yards in the air. Well, as his body has declined and as he has aged in the league, he hasn't been able to do that this year. And because he doesn't have that just natural arm strength and natural ability to throw the ball down the field, the things like the mechanics and the timing of the play and the precision of the entire operation, those things start to matter for a quarterback like Cam Newton in a way that they probably didn't matter for him his entire career. So I kind of go about this looking at it with this analogy. It's kind of like when you date a girl for 2 weeks, you think everything is amazing, right? And then 3 weeks later, after you started dating on vacation or something like that, you wake up one morning and you say, wow, we actually have nothing in common, right? We're actually not compatible in any sort of way. And then you sort of kind of come to this realization that, wow, the beginning was nice, but now we're kind of sputtering out. And that's what it sort of feels like with Cam Newton and the Patriots, because training camp was all sunshine and rainbows. The first 2 weeks of the season was all sunshine and rainbows. And then it slowly started to deteriorate from there. And now I think both sides realize, hey, this is not working out long term. This is not a relationship that either of us can continue.
So this is a conversation that we could have for the rest of the duration of this show, leading all the way up to kickoff. It's one we've been having for weeks since it's become clearly apparent that Cam Newton is not the answer, nor does the answer exist on this roster. Despite everything that we've thought might happen, Jarrett Stidham has not been given a shot, and in what limited opportunities he's had, he has not performed well. Again, would have liked to see him run first team reps all week and get an honest shot at least once this week, just so you could at least check the box, check the no column, whatever that is. But it didn't happen, not going to happen. Wouldn't be stunned if we see him today. Wouldn't be stunned if this is treated like a preseason game where they just split reps, Cam starts, and then Stidham plays the second half. Would not be shocking, but we'll see. Or I wouldn't be shocking to see Cam Newton play the entire game. But that's I don't want to get into the what next, because probably the entire post-game show is going to be filled with the what next situation, and whether they lose, where they finish, how far down the standings they tumble. Obviously, right. I think most Patriots fans here really don't want to see a victory today.
I don't know why you would want to see a victory today, because especially in a draft like this, where it is stacked with quarterback prospects, especially near the top 10 of the draft, the difference between picking 11th and picking 14th in this type of draft is actually pretty massive. And if you go into scenarios where maybe the Patriots fall in love with the Trey Lance, or maybe they fall in love with the Zach Wilson, and they do want to trade up into the top 10, now you make a much easier trade up from 11 to 7 or 8 or something like that. It's probably only going to take a few day 2 picks on top of the 11th overall pick or something like that. When you get into 14, 15 range, you're further out. And I think that that's when you sort of get yourself into that purgatory, that middle ground. So the Jets are playing much better than the Patriots are right now. I think the Jets have more to prove for themselves next season in terms of Sam Darnold and Adam Gase kind of auditioning for whatever is next for those two guys. And they are playing better football right now over the last 2 weeks, beating Cleveland and beating the Rams, than the Patriots have played over the last couple of weeks. So this all signs point to the Patriots losing this game.
Yeah, and so who knows? What we do know is this is also likely to be Adam Gase's final game here as a Jets head coach. It's surprising he made it this long, considering what a colossal disaster this has been on almost every level. Interpersonal, personnel decision-making, in-game coaching, the decisions made on how to use players. I can't point to a thing that Adam Gase has done well here. However, there's a vibe, and you wrote about this on CLNS Media, that Adam Gase could find a home, or his next home might very well be Foxborough. And I want you to explain that to people, because this guy doesn't have a lot of shine on him. And in a place where you're trying to create a more welcoming environment, which I thought Cam Newton did a great job of, everybody knows it's hard to play for Bill Belichick. And it's even harder when he doesn't have rings to, dangle in your fingers, or just more recent, and Tom Brady here as quarterback. So I don't know what I don't know that Adam Gase is the type of guy that people want to play for, and I'm wondering how that works.
I'm wondering how it works too, but the reality of the situation is that I think it was clear for the Patriots this year that Josh McDaniels liked the benefit of having Jed Fish in the building as the quarterback's coach, and just sort of another experienced NFL offensive mind. Even whether you respect Adam Gase on that level or not is besides the point. But Belichick's history with Adam Gase in terms of his ties to Nick Saban, and actually his ties to Josh McDaniels before that as well. He was on Josh McDaniels' staff in Denver when McDaniels was the head coach of the Broncos in the early 2010s. He was there as the quarterback's coach, and then eventually became the offensive coordinator with Peyton Manning after Josh McDaniels left. So they have very big ties right now to Adam Gase. Bill Belichick's been very praising Adam Gase, quite frankly, for a while now. I would say this was not something that was new to this particular week. I think this has been going on for a long time, that Bill Belichick thinks a little bit higher of Adam Gase than maybe we do in the media and we do on the outside looking in. With that all being said, I would not give Adam Gase any more responsibility than being the quarterback's coach. We're not talking about him for offensive coordinator. We're not talking about him calling plays next year, but quarterback's coach, when you have an offensive coordinator like Josh McDaniels, who's been a quarterback's coach in the past, you have Bill Belichick running the ship, it's a babysitter. Like, it's a guy that's going out there, making sure they're going through the drills, watching tape with them after the game, or after the practice.
Sure, but I'm not sure.
Home things. This is not a job that this is not a big time, like, oh no, like Adam Gase is in charge.
It could be though, Evan. That's the thing. If the next quarterback is a young guy you want to develop, and you've seen what happened to Sam Darnold after a couple of years under Adam Gase, whether that's Darnold's issue or Gase's, I don't think there's a single person that wants this commodity or property that is going to be the next Patriots quarterback, whomever that may be, especially if they are a rookie drafted high in next year's draft, that wants Adam Gase within a million miles of this person.
And I get that. And I don't think that this is a slam dunk that it's going to happen or anything like that. But I do think that the Patriots like to take advantage when they can of getting guys on the coaching staff that have had head coach experience, coordinator experience in college and the pro level, because that can can be valuable to the rest of the staff to have somebody else that you can trust with some things. A grown-up. And even to a degree, Brett Bielema was that for the Patriots over the last couple of years on the defensive side of the ball, grooming Gerard Mayo, grooming Steve Belichick, getting those guys ready for that step. I think that there is an important element of it to just have, like you said, a grown-up at the table that has also been there and done that. So Josh McDaniels doesn't walk into an offensive meeting room next year with Nick Caley and Nick Lombardi and Ivan Fears as really his only trusted sort of guys in that building.
Sure. Okay. Well, I do know who's watching on YouTube. We're going to sign off our YouTube. We're going to continue on Twitter and Periscope and Facebook for a little while longer, but please subscribe for all our Patriots video content here, clnsmedia.com /Patriots Press Pass, or our main YouTube channel. You get Patriots content there on both. Both are excellent sources for Evan Lazar. You're going to want to keep it here. This is going to be one of the more important off seasons in Patriots history in terms of rebuilding, remaking, reshaping this roster. So while the games end, I actually think our coverage is only just beginning.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So